How you guys doing? You know who it is. It's me again. I won't keep you long. First, we gotta do what we're supposed to do. Give God his, just a little prayer. Lord, thank you again for granting me this opportunity to speak your name. Thank you for all your grace and mercy you have bestowed upon my family, myself, and friends, and the whole world, Lord. Please help those that need your help personally, that I don't know about what their problems are, but you're the only one can solve their problems. So put your arms around them and take care of whatever they've been praying for. Through the Holy Spirit, in Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay, folks, this is part 6. Just as a reflection, I've been humbly requesting that anyone my age, or close to my age, 65 or older, I feel there should be an obligation that you should give back in terms of your story, your struggle in this life, and your knowledge about the history of your family and your entire Black heritage. I did have like I mentioned to you guys before, I did have a friend that came on, and he spoke so elegant, and his name was Pastor Jerry Wilder, and he gave a good analogy of how he was paying homage back to Henry Baker. Some of you may know Mr. Baker. And also, just to briefly just mention one other thing about Mr. Baker, he also was not only the high school basketball coach for Eastside, but he also coached PCC downtown Patterson, that's State Community College, as the head basketball coach there for several years before his transition. Anyway, I just wanted to briefly mention that. But now, as I said before, I'm going to try to get some more brothers to tell their story, because I don't want to be hogging the mic, so to speak. I'm making play like I'm a photographer or a reporter, okay? But it's on my heart for our youth, so we can know, so they can know, that there were people's shoulders that we were standing on, and still is standing on, their prayers. And we need to give back. So, if you have the time, which you should have, 24 hours in a day, or 8 hours a day, doesn't have to be this broadcast, or this platform, or this podcast, or this video. At your own discretion, pull some of your family members aside, younger members, because you older folks, we should know, and we should be able to give back some of the knowledge and some of the wisdom that was given to us, and some of our experiences, so these young people could have a better and fruitful life on this planet, and know who they are and where they came from. So, in one of my videos, I think I spoke about the first or the second one, in terms of giving kudos to my older brothers and sisters. I spoke about Black businesses in Patterson, and I neglected to mention the funeral parlors. You know, when it comes to death or transition, we don't want to talk about things, and then wind up sometimes you don't have insurance policies to cover your loved one, or you don't have, you just don't want to talk about certain things, and we have to get out of that mode. So myself, I'm speaking personally to myself, but you guys probably could share in this. The folks I didn't mention was Cheeks Funeral Home. I think they were located on Carroll Street, between Governor and 12th Avenue. Well, actually, he was located on Market Street first, and then he moved to the area I just mentioned. But also, Ely White took over that area on Market Street between, I think it's 24th or 25th and 26th Street. So that's Cheeks, Ely White, and Braggs. Braggs is long running. Carney's father, senior, donated a lot of, he used to be commended as well, donated a lot of things to Patterson. And he's been burying folks forever. Carney also did a great job. Rest their souls. And Ely White and the Cheeks, rest in peace. Today, we still have Reverend Lagarde, B. Houston, and Braggs. And there's another young lady on Fifth Ave, I forget the name of her funeral service. I was even at the opening. I do apologize for that. These are black folks. And speaking back about Lagarde, Lagarde is the most, how would I say, business-minded but compassionate funeral guy that I've ever known. All my folks, I've been blessed to stay here so far, but all my folks I sent to Lagarde. And me and Braggs, me and Carney was like this, but Lagarde seems to do just a better job, and I have to go with who does a better makeup job, who speaks the business better. So that was the Reverend. But kudos to Carney as well. Like I said, rest in peace. And his father, Lagarde's father. Like I said, I don't know why certain individuals not mentioned more than other ones because of some type of enviousness or whatever it is. But Reverend Lagarde's father was the first guy. I was a young boy that brought Martin Luther King to the city of Patterson. Martin Luther King Jr., rest in peace, was brought to Patterson by Reverend Lagarde's father. Yes, right there on the corner of Governor Street and Auburn Street. So I thought I'd just mention these partitioners, I think you call them, or these burial people, because they are important in the city of Patterson and New Jersey. Moving right along though, I also told you guys in my last videos that I would, excuse me, that felt good going down, that I would definitely ask young ladies who I grew up with, school 6 and the 4th, 3rd grade, that's still on this side of the universe, to come forward and tell their stories. Like in another video, I mentioned voting rights. Women wasn't allowed voting rights, but they got out there, they fought for those rights. That could be a part of your story. Whatever you want to talk about to our youth, they will listen, because as much as people try to stigmatize them, they're really not that way. If you look at me sometimes, I'm 68. When I play basketball, I'll put a headscarf on or a stocking cap. Immediately, if you see me, you'll say, "Oh, that's a thug, that's a hood, that's a hoodlum." No, you don't really see me. You think you see me, but you don't. These are things that I like wearing. So I'll wear my headscarf when I'm playing ball, or sometimes you'll see me mingling with young folks, even dancing like some of them. But don't see me through the eyes that you think you're looking at. See me in the spiritual eye. See me, really see me. So I don't make that mistake, because I was taught better when I was chosen by the universe to look at these spectacles and see what's really there and what's not supposed to be there. So that's a thought for you to remember. Part 6, I've reached out to a couple brothers today. They're going to get back to me tomorrow. So you'll see, God willing, you'll see one or two of the brothers on this video, and they'll be telling their story. Now, I will build just like I did with Mr. Wilder, Pastor Wilder. I'll just add in when I can, bounce off each other, and we'll relate like that, laugh a little bit. But truth will be going forward for the youth who wants to hear it and who wants to dissect it and apply it to their lives. But tonight, briefly, I'm just going to say this. It doesn't have to be on a podcast, or it doesn't have to be on a video, or it doesn't have to be on Facebook. It can be in your living room. It could be in a park. It could be at your job. Pull somebody to the side that's younger than you and just have a gradual conversation with them, especially if they're black, because we're the only race that has been classified subhuman, only race that has built this country even on racism and didn't reap none of the benefits at all. In every war, we left bodies on the shores of Iwo Jima, France, London, England, everywhere. So you can go into detail, and if you need some help, I'm here. I got reference, I got documents, I can chop it up with you about anything you want. But be truthful to our youth, because this is the fabric of this country. So, without further ado, I just want to say a few other things and I'm going to let you go. I did mention in part 4 that I would not call names because of the fact that I don't want to leave anyone out as far as myself is concerned, as far as the brothers and sisters that uplifted me. But I did mention a few people, so I'm going to try to mention some folks, and I tell you, I also said I would mention three last names or 3 first names in part 5, but that didn't happen. So me and Mr. Wilder happened there. So this is part 6. So I'm going to give you 3 names right now, and that don't mean that I forgot and I'm going to leave out other names, because there were so many names and folks that was influential in my life, in my growth and development, that I'm just so, still excited about, man, and it just makes me smile, the lessons and, how I turned out, and what the flip side of that coin could have been. I could have went left. So, without further ado, one of the, believe it or not, and I don't utter this to too many people, one of the families was the Carter family. Yeah, Reuben Hurricane Carter, yeah. His sister Deborah, and if Deborah's around now, she was ministering. I think she was a pastor. Deborah, my sister Mookie, her name is Georgia Benjamin. Kate, got Kate's last name. Laura Woodhouse, and there was another part of that group. There was 5 or 6 of those girls, young ladies, that was very influential in my life. For instance, one story I'm going to tell you is this about the women before I go into Reuben. Deborah and Mookie, Kate, Laura, I just can't, my memory fails me with the other one, but there was someone else. But anyway, Carroll Street between Governor and Harrison and 12th. Governor Street, 12th, and Harrison was the next block. On Carroll Street was Mr. Moore's. There was a steak and take on there, and it was just a crowd of folks, like not mischief, but just having a good time and hanging out and having fun. Myself, my brother, well, and my friend, a couple of friends, we used to try to hang out up there, and those sisters would give us, boy, listen, there's no hanging out when they were up there. So I didn't understand. I was like, well, I can't stay on here with you out here. Why I can't hang out here? Boy, I told you to get your butt back up. And listen, Deborah said, knock it out. Knock his little butt out so you can feel something. Deborah, I'm sorry. But listen, these young ladies, you think Viola Davis movie was something with the Warriors. Shoot, boy, in Patterson, you had sisters out there, man. They could thump. They didn't have the spears, but they could thump. So, out of respect for those sisters, and if some of them are gone home, rest in peace, but they were great examples of how to take yourself out of a bad situation. Well, what could have been a bad situation, it was fine for them to do, but they wasn't gonna let you do it. You do as I say do, not as I do, was their motto. So, Reuben, Snake, what's my man name? Got the other guy. Not John Artis. There's a couple other brothers, man. There was a lot of brothers in Patterson, man. The best of the best stomped through Patterson. One day, it's called the Costello Pool now, but before they put the pool up, before Lou Costello donated the pool to Patterson for free for all county residents and Patterson, it was called the Back Race. And what that was is just a we used to try to sneak up and go to the back race, the fish swim, whatever we wanted to do. Reuben, that was his little domain up there. Also Reuben was scheduled to fight Muhammad Ali too, while Cassius Clay at that time. And somehow for me, he would just be like, no, you don't belong up here. And I'd be like, why the guy picking on me, man, But all the while, I didn't know, because we was I ran with some brothers that were before their time, like me and Casper Johnson, rest in peace, that was my ace. So they ran us from up there too. Just like my sisters and them ran us from off of Carroll Street. Reuben and them ran us from off of the back race. So there was some, not Bloods and Crips, but there was some gang warfare going up there, up the hill versus down the hill, around the hill, the projects. We had all kinds of stuff going on back there. But these brothers looked out, and these sisters looked out. So I wanted to mention them. Also, another family, I mentioned Casper. Me and Casper fought in the 4th grade. He was shaking somebody down on one side of school, I was shaking him down on the other side, so we got tired of that and we just duked it out, and I think Casper won. But they say it was a tie. Man, I was so happy he broke that fight up. But his brother, he had several brothers, Jerry, Ike, and Zeb Johnson. That name should still ring bells out here in the street. Zeb was one of these brothers, sharp as attack with his hands. It was about the hands, no punk style, no running and getting a gun because you can't fight and getting scared to get locked up. He wore Aberdeen slacks, sharkskin suits, he wore alpaca stitch blouse, all of that. He's one of the brothers that I patterned my dress code after, me and Casper. And I was fortunate because that was Casper's older brother. So you had Mike, David, he had a lot of brothers, but Zeb Johnson, very good example. We had payphones, just real quick, I'm gonna let you guys go, seriously. We had payphones on the street, right? You put a dime in there, quarter, and it went up nickels. Put that in the payphone and you could call them from the street, not the rotary phone from your house where you go, you was lucky to have one of them back in the day too. But anyway, I'm on the phone on Carroll Street. I don't know who I was talking to. Zeb rolled up on me. You always on the phone. Every time I see you on the phone, get off the phone. What you doing on the phone? I was like, yo, man, get off that phone. Who you calling so much? Every time I come up here, you on that phone. I was like, yo, okay. And listen, he was so smooth, man. Now back then, these brothers, a lot of brothers was getting high too back then, but the pants was up on their ass. They were so sharp and clean every day, bro, that you looked at these guys and you wanted to emulate them, man. You'd be like, oh man, this guy. But Zeb was a no-nonsense person, you know. I think I seen him slide somebody in school 6 one day. I knocked him so hard, the boy went up underneath the car. So, but anyway, that's the Johnson family. Now, some of you there's a brother still around named Louis Mathis. We call this the Mathis family. Lou was always instrumental in keeping us straight. I used to get high, right? At one point, I was on Park Ave one day. My eyes looked like that of a devil or something. And no one would tell me, you know, they not blatantly and bluntly as Lou was, what's wrong with you? Look at your eyes. Look, you want to be like this all your life? And he sat me down and gave me 1, 2, 3 lessons, 1, 2, and 3. And that stuck with me. Thank you, Lou. Thank you for that. Thank you for my brother. And also, Louis had a brother, rest in peace, named Eddie Matthews, quiet, assassin. Eddie was that dude. Athletic. I mean, always smiling. I never heard him raise his voice, but the respect factor he had in the community was so impeccable. So that family was instrumental also. Now, those are the 3 basic folks I'm gonna tell you about. There's a lot more coming, and you'll be surprised some of them are still walking around today. So again, please let our youth know who stomped through Patterson and New Jersey, who gave of themselves to make sure you have a better life or a better vision on the future that you wanted for yourself, but you just didn't know how to go about getting it. Those brothers gave me insight on how to build character, and this is what I want the youth to know today. So all of you guys who shy, or who just don't like speaking in public, or who just feel that it won't help, go one-on-one with that person. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be in the public eye. All you have to do is give from your heart, because I know if you're 65 and older, or maybe some of you even 60, have something to share and have something to give to these kids. Stop talking about these kids. These kids are your brother, sister, your cousin, your aunt, your mother. These kids, these are our kids. Believe it or not, these are our kids. These are not no one else's kids. Stop being tricked up into that way of thinking. No, you killing each other, man. Carnal Commission, I mentioned to you, just read, man. Study, research. Don't take my word for anything. Okay? Your boy, Noonie Noon, once again, signing out. Thank you for your ear.